Well, it's that time of year again, getting ready for the school year. I'm now logging back online, checking out what I put in there, writing it down, starting to brainstorm what I need to get, and to be certain that I don't want to add anything else, tweak anything else. Also, I need to look specifically into a few of the things I know I want to do and see what exactly is in the curriculum to see if I actually want the whole thing or just parts of it and what I want to incorporate to add to it, if anything. Ivan will be a junior and Joelle will be a freshman. And it is bittersweet because these years are slipping away. I have loved homeschooling my boys with all my heart, and I have dreamed from the beginning that we would go the whole way, and praise the Lord, it completely suited us the whole way through. They've loved it. They wanted to stick with it to the end. They've never asked to go to school, and I'm so thankful because it's been quite an easy and extremely enjoyable journey. But we still have more to go, so I'm so thankful. This chapter of our life is not over just yet. So obviously we're just doing math. Whoop-de-doo, boring math. One of them really loves math. So we're doing math. We still do Math UC as our curriculum, so we're continuing with it. If it ain't broke, why fix it? I've never been one to just go crazy looking at all the curriculums out there, especially if something I'm using already works for me, right? So Math UC has been what we've used from the start. People told me way in the beginning, if you ever feel like quitting, just hang on, you're gonna be glad you don't. So I just took their advice and stuck with it. And so far my kids have grasped it great. They understand it, they do well with it. They've never had an issue, and so why stop now, right? I will definitely also be doing business finance, if not this year, next year, or at the end of the second half of this year. We'll see, because I would like to do that for them together, and it makes a little more sense for Joelle to be a sophomore, and it's okay if Ivan's a senior, than for Joelle to be a freshman taking it. So I like to do as much together as possible. So I'll do business finance, possibly the second half of this year, but for sure next year if we don't do it this year. For science, we're sticking with the DVD curriculum called the 101 series. It's a homeschool family. It's a little cheesy, but it's great. It's all I need and want, and all really that they need. And if we want to do any chemistry experiments, we will. But we've been exposed to all these things enough to where we don't have to do a deep dive. They're not like so interested that I'm feeling compelled to go to much, much greater lengths to do an extensive, very, very rich science curriculum. They're not really headed in that direction, so it's not something I want to put too much focus on. However, I do want to make sure we do a high school level chemistry, physical science, biology, and we might throw something else in there later. But we did biology last year. We're going to do chemistry this year. Next year we'll do the physical science, and I feel like there's one more. I don't know. I have it written down somewhere. Doesn't matter, because this year, we're doing chemistry. So that's all I gotta worry about right now is chemistry. And there's our periodic table right there. So that's for science, that's for math. I love Good and the Beautiful. It is rich. It is not just language arts. It's got all sorts of beautiful poetry and art and music and geography and stories all intertwined. So it's a very rich language arts curriculum. And so we're doing Good and the Beautiful for language arts. And we're doing Beautiful Feet books for history. I did that last year, loved it. So that covers history, math, language arts, science. We're gonna do logic this year, and I'm pretty excited about that. We're doing Art of the Argument as our curriculum. I have friends that have done it in the past. They said that it's a great basic, just general knowledge of logic, and I really find it valuable and important to teach at least those basics to our kids. And I want them to recognize right off the bat when something is illogical, which they kind of already do, but I want to feed it more. And then the way that we live here is just endless education. These boys help me in the kitchen. They help me raise chicks. They Hector fix things. So they live a very hands-on life. They help me in the garden. I also need to hop on and look at all the electives and see what else we can choose for electives. They've had, they had to do their PE elective. They did that already with all of the survival classes they've done and all of the training that they've done in the woods and the airsoft and medical training and all of these things. All of that counts for school. All the chicks that they've raised and taken care of, the housing for the animals that they've built, all of that counts for school. The garden beds that they've built, the gardening that they've done, all of that counts for school. Identifying all the different things on our property, foraging with me, making herbal medicine. I mean, all of that counts for school, right? So it's just hard to grab all that and write it all up and put it in the system, which they don't have to see it all, but I like to, for myself, see all the things that they clearly have gained great experience in. And that's pretty much it. I always leave room for field trips, documentaries, music, art, poetry. We always do journaling. We get our composition books and they have to do a journal entry every day about whatever Bible they read. I never used to do Bible for school, but in the last 2 years I started to, because I really want to instill that habit for them before they leave home, and it wasn't happening naturally like I hoped it would. So I thought that it would be a great practical way to help them not only write more, put their thoughts on paper, but read their scriptures every day. And so we do our journal. They have individual reading time every day. Of course, all those subjects I shared. Then, of course, time for field trips, time for documentaries, time for friends, social life, all of that. And even like hospitality, I think, is a huge part of their education, because they help so much with preparing for having guests in our home. So it's just really fascinating to homeschool, because you may not be trying to like do checklists of subjects, but they just happen naturally as your kids live life with you. You usually expose your kids to tons of really valuable learning. And, you know, even as high up as we are in grades, we're in high school, technology is still the least thing we use for our schoolwork. We are predominantly handwriting and books. I am not a fan of technology learning, not my preference. I like to engage and interact and talk and discuss and see and touch and feel, and the disconnect of a screen and the lack of beauty and richness and romance of a screen is just so not my style, that we have never gone in that direction. So I'm not changing it now, and I don't think it's a disservice to the kids. I think their work ethic is going to take them a long way in this world, and their wisdom and the good head on their shoulders is going to take them a long way. So I don't really think that in this technological world, having kids that are not necessarily all about their computers is going to be that big of an issue, just to be quite honest. So that's our beginning plans for our school year. Tax-free weekend's right around the corner, so we'll be going, getting new pencils, getting new pens, getting new journals, getting new notebooks, paper. I don't know what else we'll need. I'll have to like take inventory. I need to purge our books, because we've got quite a bit of books that we don't need and I don't need to keep because they're special to me. They're just like these random books that I'm like, okay, this came with the curriculum. We don't really care about this book. So I'll probably regift those, and we'll definitely keep all the classics and the books that I want to read to my grandchildren. So this is step one of planning for next homeschool year. I would love to hear how your homeschool year is going. The plans for your next homeschool year are going. Please share what you're doing this year, and I hope you're excited. but still it's not here. So I'm hanging on to every last day of summer break. We are gonna start September, and then by November we'll really be in full swing, because then September and October is the most beautiful weather, and that's when all the activities get planned and we want to go to everything. So we, gotta work with what we can do. So we still have quite a bit of time off, which I don't feel bad about in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's it. That's where I'm at with our planning. I've got to order the science. I've got to order the logic. I've got to order the beautiful feet books, the history, but I have to look into it first. And I have to look into business finance. If you have one that you like, please share. And that's it. Everything. Oh, and good and beautiful language arts. We still have a couple of sections left from last year that we need to finish, and then I'll order the new one. So we've got a little time for that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you guys, and see you next time.